Hello, welcome back to A Night of Fright with your hosts Josh Bozick and Ville Sullivan. Today we're going to be talking about a case that many of you might be familiar with, the Amityville Horror. Now, if you're not familiar with this case, the Amityville Horror was a massacre by a man by the name of Ronald DeFeo. And on one cold, dark, vicious night, Ronald DeFeo took a Marlin .35 caliber rifle and murdered
Damn.
each and every single one of his family members. He did this in the dead of night and then pretended as if he woke up to the whole massacre. After this, he eventually got caught, and in court, he said that the devil made him do it.
It's messed up.
And then we had someone called the Lutz family, and they moved in, and they said that it was haunted, and moved out within 29 days. That's when
TV's
Ed
work.
and Lorraine Warren investigated this house, and they said it was the most haunted, paranormal, vicious experience they've ever had. So today, we're going to be watching a video breaking this down and talking about it. Let's begin.
A good horror story is even more chilling when it is based on a true one. Whichever way may be portrayed, either through books, movies, or other mediums, the fact remains that the
Contains
event that
spoilers.
occurred was once upon a time someone's haunting reality. In this
So
case,
what are we
it was the
spoiling?
realities of the DeFeo and Lutz family.
I don't know. That's what I'm curious about.
Loki, can you
During their
boost
time
up
in
the volume?
Yeah.
Amittyville home in New York.
Love that. This is a BuzzFeed
In the autumn
unsolved
of
video.
1974, a family
reacting
of 7 would suddenly be reduced to just one surviving member,
Oh.
the one who committed the crime. Before that fateful night, the DeFeos weren't exactly a happy household, with rumors of Ronald Sr. being hostile, abusive, overbearing, and dominant.
Now,
Oh.
that's very important details right there.
Mm-hmm.
You see, oftentimes in history, when we see a murderer, we look at their roots, and they're not exactly great. There's usually signs of abuse, some sort of trauma, sexual assault, drug use, and I'm not sure if you're aware of this, Josh Bozick, but we tried filming this exact podcast last night and learned about some
Really?
issues with cocaine or something. I don't remember, but
I think I may have remembered that.
yeah, and then the audio didn't record, so we had to redo it 2 in the morning the day before. Actually, no, the day of
The day of.
the presentation.
8 hours will give this presentation.
Let's get back to the video, right?
Yeah.
His way of fathering is believed to have caused Ronald Jr., also known as Butch, develop into a troubled young adult. The DeFeos owned an auto body shop where Butch was employed, but he would often spend his time at bars instead of at work. Butch eventually became addicted to drugs and alcohol, which led him to become violent towards his family. An incident had occurred where he reportedly pulled a gun on his father, and there were other times where he would physically lash out at his family.
Oh, wow.
In the early
this
hours
is
of
not a
November
one-time.
13th, 1974,
that's
Ronald
my
Butch
birthday.
DeFeo Jr. snapped.
Happy birthday!
Yeah.
With rifle in hand, Butch went from room to room, murdering his family members one by one.
So, I'm just a little bit upset at this whole video. That's not a rifle they showed. They showed a shotgun. A pump-action
Yeah.
shotgun.
If I remember, a shotgun's a bit too extreme.
You know, he used a .35 caliber rifle.
He used some like Civil War. One shot down the chamber, got to reload it now. 5-minute reload type of gun.
And that's why he waited until nighttime to kill his family. So that way they couldn't,
Yeah.
gangbang him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
So yeah, I'm just just a little something to think about.
One as they slept. One of the peculiar things about this incident is that while the murdering unfolded within an estimated 15-minute time span, the way the bodies were found showed no signs of struggle. In addition, the sounds of gunshots oddly did not wake any of the other family members, or at least it didn't draw them out of bed. The bodies were found all face down on their beds, as though they'd been positioned that way. To add to the strangeness, the rifle reportedly had no silencer, and aside from the family dog barking, none of the neighbors reported hearing even a single
So-
gunshot going off that night.
They didn't even know if the gun had a silencer or not.
They said that
And they talking about reportedly. What we doing here? I mean, this is like trying to do write an article, but then have anonymous as a quote. What we doing?
I did that one time actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Anyways,
I think, but it's okay.
Anyways, something else to think about. What happened to the dog?
There's a dog?
Yeah, they just said they had a family dog.
Oh. They shoot the dog too?
Nah, he didn't shoot the dog.
So then what the...
I don't know what the dog doing. What the dog doing?
So the... Yo. Maybe the dog is the devil in hand that we're...
Maybe the dog was possessed by the devil to like stop doing.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
The dog got possessed.
Yes.
After
Its body
horrifically
was
murdering his own family, Butch took a bath,
what's
got
it
dressed
called?
for work, and eventually reported the murder, claiming he discovered the grisly scene after arriving home from his job. He went so far as to
voyage,
propose that it was
or
the work
something
of a
like that.
mafia hitman, accompanied by 2 accomplices. He said that they showed up at his house that morning, put a gun to his head, and forced him to kill his family members. His alibi wouldn't last long under scrutiny, where DeFeo eventually broke under pressure, admitting to the murders. He later showed police where he had discarded the rifle and the bloodstained clothes. In his confession, he stated, "Once I started, I just couldn't stop. It went so fast." It was said that Ronald
That's
Jr.
that
was hearing
cocaine
voices
use.
that influenced him to carry out the murders. However, the prosecutors had a psychiatrist argue against that, who then diagnosed Ronald with antisocial personality disorder, meaning that Ronald hadn't actually been hearing
that's
voices, nor had he been possessed by another personality. He just thought that the killing of his family was not wrong.
Oh.
DeFeo was convicted by a jury for
How they gonna say that though? You know what I mean?
So he just said stuff and they just believe in it.
No, but like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. How you gonna tell me what I was thinking at that time? How do they know he wasn't hearing?
That's
voices?
whack.
They're saying he was like, nah, he just wanted to do it. How do you know that?
Yo.
Maybe the demon is possessing the psychiatrist too now. Something to think about.
for 6 counts of murder and sentenced to 6 consecutive life terms, which he is still serving at the Sullivan Correctional Facility in New York. There is still a theory that a second killer was also present, but never caught.
What?
Whoa.
So we just...
Just a little over a year following the mass murder of the DeFeo family, the DeFeo residence on Ocean Boulevard would become the dream home for a new family, the Lutzes. With the Amittyville
I
home
think a dream home is a push.
Yeah. Before we get into that, though, one more point I'd like to bring up is, let's talk about your blackness for a second.
What do you mean by that?
Hey, shut up, Travis Spencer.
riddled in its gruesome past,
True.
one can't help but wonder about the possibility of a residual energy lingering on the property, haunting the ground it was trapped on. But one wouldn't have to wonder for very long before the Lutzes would come forth with their alleged not-so-housewarming stories. After house hunting for what seemed like forever, George and Kathy Lutz finally came across a listing for what they didn't realize at the time was the DeFeo home. They decided to check it out, and while the house was over their original budget of $30,000 to $50,000, they, for some reason,
What?
found themselves drawn to the attractive, hip-roofed colonial house with 6 bedrooms, a heated pool,
They're
and a
paying
large...
$20,000 extra dollars.
whoa.
Wait, what?
Whoa. 6 bedrooms.
A heated pool?
6 bedrooms, a heated pool, 2-story home
Large boathouse.
with a damn
What?
damn a damn garage for $60,000? My mom paid $250 for this house. We don't even have a garage, let alone a pool.
What? What?
Large boathouse on
Something to think about.
the Amittyville River. And despite being informed about the house's murderous past,
Gunshots,
the
maybe
Lutzes
this
fell in
one.
love with the home and decided it would be theirs. They purchased it at the bargain price of $80,000 and never
Ooh.
once considered the house to be uninhabitable due to its past.
All right, so let's pause.
And similarly to the Hollywood,
I think their first problem or mistake was they had a $30,000 budget and they upcharged it $50,000 more than their original budget. So they already in debt. And now they got a devil or a demon in the house with them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm low key, I would be more scared about wasting $50,000 out my damn bank account because now I'm just broke.
Yeah, it's like a pick your poison kind of thing. Do you want to be $50,000 in debt, or do you want to live with the devil?
I might take the devil
I might have to take the
in
devil
6.
too. Yeah, I mean, those first few months are gonna be hell, but you're gonna get used to
Just
it.
gotta make buddy with them.
Exactly. Just gotta be like, listen, buddy, I'm not leaving. You're not leaving.
True.
Let's just calm down. I mean, you can have your fun during the daytime, but I gotta sleep at night. I have a job to do in the morning. So, let's put a curfew at 8 p.m. We all just chill.
Yeah.
We can resume the fun tomorrow. Something to think about.
True.
betrayal,
Kills his whole family. Doesn't that bother you?
Well, yeah, sure, but
they felt that.
houses don't have memories.
But the Lutz's dream home would quickly become one of a nightmare. The events that soon followed would eventually be known to the public through the work of author Jay Anson, who wrote and captured the events in his infamous book, The Amittyville Horror. Prior to moving into the house, George Lutz was an active businessman, but immediately after moving in, he underwent a sudden personality change, becoming sluggardly, chilled, and cranky.
We do have sponsors on today's podcast.
Yeah, today's sponsor is
Signature.
Signature Eats or Signature Select. Use code Fright.
Gideon.
Fright Night. Gideon.
Oh, and that too.
Use code Gideon or Fright Nights for 5% off your first order.
He found himself waking up at 3:15 a.m. every night and was unable.
Something we talked about last night, and I'd like to bring up again, is the whole 3 a.m. thing.
Yeah.
We've noticed a pattern that all these paranormal things happen at 3 a.m. and we're wondering why. At the time of recording this, it's 2:17 a.m.
We're close.
We're close, but yeah. What's the significance with the whole 3 a.m. thing? We were talking about possibly the Library of Alexandria last night.
And how it burnt down, but they said it burnt down for 6 months, even though most of it was marble. So I don't really know the physics working on that, but
yeah. And it's like, how the hell did it burn down for 6 months? You couldn't grab any books?
True.
I feel like if I had dedicated my whole life to this library and I worked there, and like I run it,
I'm grabbing books.
Yeah,
I'm grabbing the ones with magical spells.
Yes,
them
I'm
too.
leaving. That's just me though. I mean, if I spend my whole life savings into something, I'm taking that shit with me. Something to think about.
True.
Able to go back to sleep. Come to find out, it was at this time that the DeFeo murders took place. One night, he saw his 5-year-old daughter Missy standing by her bedroom window, with the outline of a pig's face with red eyes behind her. He quickly ran inside her room.
That story's not adding up. We heard something similar last night. A girl was sleeping.
Yeah.
She wasn't standing up. She was sleeping. And
Sleeping.
There was a figure looking over her like that.
Yeah.
We also heard something about, I forgot what the name of it was, but it was some sort of document And
Oh, yeah, the manual.
the guy who owned it, his car exploded, and then it was a manuscript. That's what it was, a manuscript. I don't know what to, but a manuscript. So basically, what happened was the guy who had it, his car
Yeah.
exploded, and then he gave it to his
Boom.
friend, and his friend's car steering wheel stopped working, and he flew off into the water into a bridge, and somehow the manuscript lived again. And then he
Yeah,
gave it to somebody
it was.
else,
Yeah.
and his house burned down. We were wondering, where's the manuscript at now?
Yeah, I want to know who has it and who is able and who's living on edge with it.
Yeah. I mean,
Who
I
woke
know,
up one day and just like I want to live life on edge, and they picked up that damn manual.
I'll tell you who. It's probably, let's get back to the video.
Only to find his daughter sound asleep. Shortly thereafter, Missy began speaking of a new friend she was playing with, a pig named Jody. In another chilling instance, George looked down at his wife Kathy while she was sleeping and saw her face had changed and seemingly aged her as if she was a 90-year-old woman. Apparently, part of the house's effect on Kathy was that she would go through periods where she aged unnaturally fast and appeared to be another person altogether. This was reportedly also witnessed by her mother. Strange things continued to happen, such as doors ripped off hinges, a room full of flies in the middle of winter, cloven hoofprints in the snow just outside their doors, green slime oozing on the walls, and the discovery of a secret room in the basement that was nowhere on the house's original blueprint.
You cannot tell me no green.
This room was
dripping
painted
down
blood
from
red
some walls.
and was only big enough for two
Yeah, this shit ain't Nickelodeon.
people to sit intimately close.
True.
It also gave off an intermittent odor. George even tried to take their family dog down there. Instead of the attempt,
He just wouldn't go in. He backed away. It's the only time I can recall
why
him
they
ever.
bring the-
Bitch ass voice is this? Why they bring in Mickey Mouse in this bitch?
I want to know why there was a blood room in the house, and why we didn't press the dude who was in prison for 60 years about it, and like why he was there when his family was there. And I want to know why this dude thought it would be a good idea to bring his dog down to the basement into the blood room.
Facts. And also, why'd they stay for so long? I mean, I know they left 29 days in, but
I would have left day 3.
I see green slime. I'm leaving.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's not a very no, it's just not.
Yeah. I mean, I get it's their dream home. They dropped $50K on it, but I mean, I guess like we did say earlier that we'd rather live with the devil than be in debt, but they're living with the devil and in debt, so they should leave.
It's really the lose, like
Burn that shit down.
just the max.
What happens if you do burn the house down? You know what I mean? Where's the devil go?
Well, I mean, the demon. There was a demon that followed Ed and Lorraine Warren home. So
Ooh, sorry about that. Let's get into it.
Powering from something.
one night, George heard the sound of a band playing downstairs, and when he went into the living room to investigate, there was no
that'd
one
be
there.
fire.
But the rug had been rolled up and the furniture had been moved as if someone had made space for dancing.
So they were just having fun for real.
The priest they enlisted to help them also experienced a variety of strange phenomena
See, that was
and
the
illness
mistake.
after getting involved with the
The
house.
ghosts were having fun. They was playing like band music and stuff like that. But then, bro wanted to bring a priest in,
Fucking up the vibes.
and we all know the number one op for ghosting them is a priest with some holy water. So they really just brought it upon themselves.
Absolutely. And nobody's arguing that point.
The Amityville horror author Jay Anson said meeting the priest solidified his decision to write the book, saying,
Because it was corroboration. This was actually happening to
Again with this stupid ass voice. What are we doing here?
I'm really not liking that they switch up the quotes and for another person's voice. I'm also not liking the editing on this video.
Yeah, it's too much. BuzzFeed, I'm leaving it.
BuzzFeed Unsolved, yeah. I thought you were
someone.
better.
This was not an exorcist or an omen. From there, I started to create the book.
On January 14th, 1976, after just living 28 days in their new home, a particularly scary night drove the Lutzes to suddenly pack their bags, leaving the rest of their belongings behind, never
what do we think this is? Because the green slime wasn't enough. Cloven footprints wasn't enough. Their furniture being moved is not enough. You never move someone's furniture. That's just rule number one. That's beef.
That's a major beef.
If you move my furniture, I'm taking the gloves off.
It's on site.
Absolutely. So what do we think happened?
I don't think the AC ventilation units were strong like back then, so it couldn't be like wind pushing them. Maybe aliens.
Yeah, aliens. See what happens.
And they
To return
use
again.
magnets, yeah.
Magnets for what?
I don't know. The aliens use magnets and like to move it around.
Facts.
Mm.
I bet they were using like the positive and negative charge, like push. Because you know how if you take
Oh,
negative side of
yeah, it would like push
push
itself
this-
away.
So they were just fucking with the magnets, just like pushing shit everywhere.
They probably were.
Bunch of goofies.
They didn't expect to leave forever that day. According to a 2005 interview with George Lutz,
We didn't get up to leave that morning. You need to understand that. This was our house. We lived there. When we left, we didn't know we weren't coming back. We didn't know that what we were leaving behind, we would never see again.
their belongings at the house, according to a Washington Post article from 1979, were to be auctioned off later. The Lutzes shared the supernatural phenomena
Wait, what happened? Did they even say what happened that night? Can you hear me? I think we lost Josh Bozick. Shoot, guys. Sorry, we're having technical difficulties here. Josh Bozick is... Is Josh Bozick being possessed right now as we speak?
I'm not gonna hold you.
Oh, he's back.
I didn't hear the probably last 30 seconds of anything the video just had to say.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now, though?
No, I'm here.
You're here now?
No, I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. Man, I'm here.
I think Josh Bozick's possessed.
Oh,
Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Well, in the meantime, while we're fixing this whole issue with the internet, Miss Merrill, we wanted to say thank you for hosting this great class. We really enjoyed it. I'm sure you're not going to make it this far into the video. Oh, there goes, oh, Jesus, wow. Oh, jeez. Oh, I'm back.
you there?
Yep. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. My internet is
No, I think it was my internet, actually.
okay. All right, we're back on target, I think.
Is your face cam on?
Oh,
There we go.
it is now.
All right. So, I didn't hear them mention what happened that night, or the night they moved out. I don't think they said it.
I didn't either.
Yeah. So.
they experienced in
I
their
don't
time
think-
living in the Amittyville house with Ensign, who eventually turned their true story into an instant bestseller in 1977. The LA Times hailed it as fascinating and frightening. Some critics have said that its popularity reflected the rocky political climate in the United States at the time, which included rampant inflation, rising interest rates, and
What the fuck? What are they talking about?
I think they might be yapping right now.
They might be bricks. How the hell
I don't
does
think
the
oil
Amityville horror reflect an oil shortage?
This might be false news.
BuzzFeed, I'm disliking your video again.
a massive
We're
oil
gonna leave a hate
shortage,
comment
all
soon.
signaling a depression.
Hey, real talk.
Economy. As the narrative unfolds, the reader also sees the family struggling as their business is impacted by the failing economy, as well as an IRS investigation into the family's taxes at the worst possible moment, making everything in the book all too familiar to readers who were living a similar reality at the time. By aligning something supernatural with the current events of American life, the book turned out to be very relatable. It was also said to have exploited contemporary popular trends of the pulp horror genre, including a family patriarch who was drinking and mean and out of his normal character, as seen in The Shining, enlisting or forcing a priest to help them against his will or better judgment, like The Exorcist, as well as excessive vomiting, also in The Exorcist, and even the setting of a northeastern beach town, like Jaws.
What?
So that brings us to our second sponsor of today's video, Save the Children. This is a big movement we're behind currently. All around the world, kids are facing food shortages. They're going through wars currently, tons and tons of things, natural disasters. And we chose this organization because every cent you donate goes straight back to these kids. Straight back to these kids. I strongly believe in the program. Josh and I have both done tons of research. Great program. We please go save the kids. Save the kids.
Well said.
When asked if Anson himself had
Thank you.
experienced anything strange while writing the book, he said,
Leave it? No.
though he did note that he had a heart attack after writing it, which he felt was unrelated.
Blame it on my smoking, my idiot lifestyle. I'm not going to blame it on this.
So the author of the
However,
book
Anson
had a heart attack.
Sounds like the manuscript. Maybe he had the manuscript.
Oh. He's
did
the one
say
who
that some
started
of the
it.
people who had read the original manuscript or had early
What?
Oh shit! We predicted the
What?
future. Oh my god, that was good.
copies in their possession did have strange things happen to them. 3 of his friends, along with one of
I can't believe we did it.
their children, had separate brushes with death. One was fatal.
Other children?
The first had a fire break out in his car as he was driving back to the publisher with the manuscript.
Damn.
The second friend and his son nearly drowned in their car while a copy of the manuscript was in their trunk. Reportedly, when the car trunk was opened, the only thing that was still dry inside was the manuscript, despite the fact that it had only been held in a clasped envelope.
What?
And the third friend, whom Anson had given the first 2 chapters to read, died in a fire the first night she received them. And in the
What?
Hey, rest easy.
remains of the fire,
True.
the manuscript was found in perfect condition. There have been several film adaptations of the story,
So what
including
happened
a
to the manuscript
1979
after
version
that?
Great question. We predicted last night, possibly in that same museum that the Annabelle doll's in, maybe?
Yeah, I mean that's the place that that could it really could only be.
Yeah. I wonder if that place is haunted.
What, that museum?
Yeah.
It's got the most haunted things in the world in it.
Think they beef?
Ooh, would you like you think demons smack talk behind little cases they're behind?
It's like jail, yeah. Except they don't get any lunchtime or they don't get any outside time. They're just
No
locked up.
lunch breaks, no, they don't see nothing. They don't move, they don't see I mean they probably do move, but
Well, I can tell you what, they probably have a whole lot of holy water there.
true.
starring James Brolin, and a 2005
Pause.
version starring Ryan Reynolds, both actors taking on the role
Why
of
is his
George
shirt
Lutz.
What
The book and
hell
both
was
movies
that?
are loyal to the setting and the true backstory of the house where a grisly mass murder had occurred. Both films were said to deviate from the original story slightly, to add to the terror of the hauntings. Such as the addition of a babysitter in both films, who watched the kids while George and Kathy, in the 1979 version, went to Kathy's brother's wedding.
I don't want to go to bed. I want to play with Jody.
In the 2005 version,
Oh,
they just had a
hell
night
no.
out.
Thank you being back here.
In the book, the entire family attended the wedding.
I got you the first time.
The 1979 version also begins with the murders, like the book, but in a way that features the house itself as the haunted vessel.
Hughes told police he heard voices coming from within the house telling him to...
In contrast to the 2005 version, which portrayed the murder victims in a way that would focus on their ghosts
Hi, Lisa.
rather than the house.
Ew.
Look what Ronnie did.
Another thing that is noticeably different between the book and the movies is that they all establish slightly different versions of what happens to the priest, all of whom have different names. In the book, he hears a voice yelling at him to get out, and then experiences flu-like symptoms when he interacts any further with the Lutzes, ultimately giving up on helping them to essentially go on vacation. But in the movies, there are physical effects on him, like when he is attacked in the house by supernaturally controlled flies, and ultimately goes blind.
Hello, Kathy. Father Delaney, there's something very important.
On the whole, the 2005 version was said to make more things up entirely. And the 1979 film features certain things that happened in the book that the other film excluded, but with less context. Apart from the mystery surrounding Ronald DeFeo Jr. hearing voices that led him to kill his entire family in 1974, and the supernatural phenomena experienced by the Lutzes in 1975, there have been no other known stories or accounts of hauntings in the Ocean Avenue house. According to the Washington Post, and realty firm Coldwell Banker Harbor Light owner Jerry O'Neill, the house has been owned by 4 different families since the murders in 1974. Its address was changed by the request of a previous owner who lived in the house following the Lutzes. The last time the house was listed for sale was in the summer of 2016, and it sold for $605,000 in February 2017, according to Zillow. Before that, the house was sold in 2010 for $950,000.
Ooh.
While there are some debates on whether or not the Lutz's story was true, the fact remains that a mass murder of an entire family did indeed take place on that property. That is undeniable. The supernatural has been known to turn skeptics into believers. So whether it's a trinket, a piece of clothing, or an entire house, be careful what you decide to acquire, because you may end up with far more than you bargained for.
That's it.
You could have a manuscript that kills your whole family.
I think the manuscript is the real problem here.
I agree.
I don't think the house or anything got to do with it. It's just a damn manuscript.
Let's see what the comments think. Shit's trash. Facts.
True.
This house is almost double your budget and 6 people were killed here. We'll take it. Not funny.
That's true.
Not funny. Actually, I'm not feeling like a hater today. Hated enough. Whether haunted or not, there is a question for every one of the homeowners. How can you comfortably sleep in a room knowing that someone was brutally murdered in there? It's kind of creepy.
They're whack.
Got a point.
That is true.
Got a point. The most horrifying part is how affordable homes were just 50 years ago. You see, that's just not true because inflation. Things were never cheap or more expensive. It was just money didn't have the same value as it did now, or you.
True.
You know, back
They should
then,
probably neck themselves.
Yeah. I live right by that house. It switches owners a good amount, but I think there's more to do with that, with the extremely high property tax more than ghosts. Whatever. Well, what are your closing statements here? What's on your mind after watching this video and learning a little bit more about the whole situation?
The manuscript is the real problem, and yeah, the manuscript was the problem. It was never the house, and even if the dude did kill his whole family, his family's weird for having a blood room in their house.
And, I couldn't have said that better. I really couldn't have. This basically sums up everything here. I mean, the only thing I can think of is what happened to the dog.
I want to know what happened to the dog too.
I mean, that dog must have been pretty.
That dog was the only likable person in this whole story.
And it watched its whole family die.
His whole family got murked.
What's he do? Well, I mean, he should have died too. I feel like now he has to live with that.
Well, I mean, if the dude shot the people in the, I mean, I feel like the dog would have barked if the gun was so damn loud.
Well, that's the thing is nobody woke up. How?
Yeah, so if there's a dog barking and there's a gun going off, how would nobody wake up?
Yeah, or call the police or anything. Like they didn't do anything.
That's messed up.
It's a lot to think about. There's a lot to think about in this case, and the guy didn't even go over the picture that he didn't even go over Ed and Lorraine.
He didn't.
He didn't even go over the whole Ed and Lorraine issue. I mean that.
He was trying to get it over with.
Yeah, what the hell? There was so much more to that story. You know, for the viewers who don't know, afterwards of this whole thing, Ed and Lorraine Warren, the most famous ghost hunters, investigated this house of all time. They investigated this house, and they said it was the worst haunting they've ever experienced. And they even saw a photograph that they took, and in the corner you can see a little boy's face. And this became very controversial for its time because people were saying it's edited. However, you know, it's not too easy to edit photos like that in the 80s, I don't think.
Not even the 70s in that bit.
So, you know, it's just something to think about. Something to think about.
True.
Something to think about. I know, me personally, I wouldn't go and live there. I'm pretty comfortable in Nashua, where the worst we got to worry about is what are we doing
Fake
today?
gang violence.
Fake gang violence, and what are we going to do today?
Yeah. I like those issues.
Me too. It's good issues. It's been a little too hot for me recently as well, actually. I'm not really rocking with this hot weather.
I think it's just too hot in my room right now. So
Me too, actually.
76 in here.
My room's 90 right now.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, Miss Merrill, if you're still here watching this, congratulations to you. I mean, you've wasted an hour of your time now, probably. So.
That's really impressive. I really respect it.
Yeah, and to any of the viewers at home who may be watching this, thanks for being here.
Yeah.
I mean,
15 likes and we'll make a part 2 by next week.
Absolutely. 15 likes and we'll make a fucking part 2. No.
Top comment is what we'll do it on.
Yeah. But please be generous. I mean, you know, just understand we're working civilians right now. We have jobs to do.
Yeah.
We have school as well. So we don't have them, like, don't make us do some crazy research, because with our videos, as you can tell from this one, we like to put a lot of effort in. You know, we make sure that our videos are top quality, everything runs smoothly, audio's crisp, quality's good, research is there.
I mean, we do, like, we're so prepared, we, like, do a warm-up.
We did a warm-up last night, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did a whole hour-long video that didn't have any audio. Pretty awesome. But, you know, some things work out, some things don't. That's the beauty of life.
True.
But, yeah, so I think that's all we have for tonight. Thank you, Miss Merrill. Thank you for a great journalism class. You know,
been real.
It's been real. And thanks for kickstarting our little career here. This is a damn good podcast. I can tell the viewers are gonna love this one.
True.
I mean, sure, we're filming at 2 a.m. before we have school in 6 hours. It's actually 3 a.m. now, and I have to still edit this, and we still have to make a slideshow presentation. But that's besides the point.
True.
Besides the point. But yeah. Love you guys, and 15 likes on the video.
True.
And we'll see you soon, hopefully.
I think that's it.
Any more shout-outs to anybody?
No, I don't think anybody deserves one.
No, nobody. Okay. Well, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you on the next one.
True.
Peace.